Hey guys, how's it going? This is Bob again, and today I'm going to be talking about Green Lantern number 59. This is the archive edition, the reprint that DC Comics did of the first story with Guy Gardner. Okay, I've never really been a big Guy Gardner fan. I did not know. I have these like old collections of Green Lantern comics from the Silver Age, all drawn by Gil Kane and everything. And I'm pretty sure that if I continued reading the second edition of that, I would have come across this story. But I don't. I only know Guy Gardner from like Justice League International. I never had my experiences with it because in all reality I'm more of a Hal Jordan fan personally. But I know that they probably released this because of the James Gunn Superman movie, which is going to have Guy Gardner in it. So yeah. So anyway, I love that DC is bringing out these archive editions of things. I think the next couple videos I'm doing will be about a lot of those reprints. And I gotta be honest, this is like the happiest time I've had in comics in a long time. I collected as a kid. A lot of that was Image Comics. And some Marvel stuff from before that, but I was always more of a DC fan, to be honest. But at that time, we all know that Marvel had the best artists. So, but I tended to like, Superman and Wonder Woman and Green Lantern and all that way more than, what I was liking over in Marvel. It's just what I was, But now, I fell out of that, Image kind of died away or whatever, or changed what it was, or those artists aren't really doing anything anymore for me to follow. And, I got back into comics and with like the New 52, but that didn't really work out for me either because I thought, okay, this is great. This is a jumping on point here. I could start collecting again. But then I just ended up letting it go because I wasn't getting what I wanted out of it. But now when I go to the comic store, I am seeing stuff like this. And I'm telling you, I went just a couple days ago and I've been home and I've just been reading the stack of comics that I got. And I'm just loving every second of it. So I'm like so in love with comics right now. So anyway, this is Green Lantern number 59. And artist Gil Kane, okay? Inked by Sid Green. So what we're going to have here is Hal Jordan talking to one of the Guardians. And the Guardian has a computer here that is reliving, or they're putting in the data from Hal Jordan about the time that Abin Sur gave him his Green Lantern ring. Okay, so the origin of Hal Jordan. All right, and that's what we're getting here. It's just a recap of that origin. Okay, what happened to Abin Sur and everything. So they happen to mention in this recap that there were two people on Earth that had the same level of will and no fear. So there were two worthy people on Earth, but the ring chose Hal Jordan because he was the closest in proximity to Abin Sur. So Hal Jordan here is like, well, I wonder what it would have been like if this other person had gotten the ring. So the Guardian's like, well, we can see for ourselves because we have this computer, which will create, that timeline with the information that it has. So now we're going into this, this like fake origin story of Guy Gardner, who was a gym teacher, okay? And the ring goes and collects him and brings him to Abin Sur. And the thing with that is he gets a different, what is it? I want to say poem, oath. He gets a different oath to say, which is kind of weird, but it was all right or whatever, but it does stand out as weird. But here we see him, living his life as Green Lantern and doing all the things that basically Hal Jordan had done. And we can see here all of the villains that he ended up fighting, just like Hal Jordan. Okay. And then on the way home from Oa, he took a detour and ended up on a planet. Now, I think the detour was actually caused by the inhabitants of this planet. And what we have on this planet is all the adults died from something called a yellow fever, okay? So only the kids survived, and those kids being affected by this fever kind of prevented them from growing up. So they just remained kids, and then they ended up, I guess, becoming bored after, you know, I guess years and years and years of just of being children or whatever. And apparently they're also super smart. So they divided into teams where you have an orange team and a blue team, and they kind of went to war, and the war was supposed to just be a game, but then it actually turned into a war. That's what we're getting from the story here. So Green Lantern ends up falling to this planet, or being, you know, caught by a ray or something from these kids. And he ends up fighting one of these robots, using the ring to decipher what's going on here, learning some of the history, and then he's being collected again by some of these kids. The kids are going to kind of brainwash him to do their bidding. So the blue team sends Green Lantern after the orange team. Green Lantern takes out their robots and everything, as we can see here. Any ships or anything that they have. This is actually an awesome picture here. I did love this. You know, and it's showing like all the battles that Green Lantern did here, fighting for the blue team, until the orange team tends to, I think they tried to control Green Lantern as well. As we can see here, he's getting in from both sides. He ends up using the ring to break away from their mind control powers. He armors himself with the green power, and then he goes and convinces these kids as a teacher that they should be, you know, stop this war game or whatever, and instead live together and, you know, to help the future of their kind and everything. Apparently, Green Lantern here used his ring to cure the yellow fever for these kids, so now they're going to be able to grow up and everything. So having solved every problem on this planet in not, you know, much time or whatever, thanks to the ring, he zooms back to Earth, and as he's recharging his ring, he starts to feel very ill, and he realizes that he caught this yellow fever that he was not immune to. And knowing that he was going to die, he put out the signal for a new Green Lantern, and that new Green Lantern is Hal Jordan. And he gives Hal Jordan the ring, and then Hal Jordan is like, you know, oh, so again, it was just a simulation by this computer. So Hal Jordan's like, you know what, I think when I get back to Earth, I'm going to go meet this Guy Gardner because he seems like a great guy. So he goes to Earth and ends up joining some health club, athletic club or something like that in order to meet Guy Gardner, and they end up becoming friends. And that is the end of that story. So basically, we get, it's more of a, not an origin, but a what if the ring had gone for this. So with this cover, we have Guy Gardner standing over Hal Jordan as if he just defeated him. And it literally says, get off this Earth, Hal Jordan. There's only, you know, there's room for only one Green Lantern, and that's me, okay? This is another one of those things I was just talking about in my last video, where you're getting this kind of clickbaity cover that tells you one thing, but then the story inside is something completely different. And I know it's kind of, you know, the cover is basically lying to you to get you to buy it. And that's weird, because if the cover says this, they easily could have made a story that was exactly like this. But instead they went with a completely different thing. But then I kind of tend to like that type of thing, where it's like you're confused and then you read the story and you're like, oh, that's what they meant by it. But there was never a scene in that book where Guy Gardner did not like Hal Jordan or defeated him or anything like that. So that's very weird that they would go with this cover over that story. But again, it was a good read. I enjoyed it. Love the Gil Kane art. Love the idea behind the story. So guys, again, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like the video, please hit like. It helps my channel grow. If you'd like to see more videos like this, hit subscribe. I'm going to be making more on the regular, and I'm also going to be doing maybe some live stuff in the future with me drawing some of the pages from my upcoming comic. So I want to thank you guys again, and until next time.